something that I want to circle back to, which I think is an interesting and also somewhat complicated concept that nutritionists seem to understand very well, which is this idea of energy balance. Could you expand on what energy balance is?
Yeah, I mean, it's one of the basic concepts. Like, we have all the books that wrote plenty about it, and basically there is this concept that there are, no magic foods. In the end, there's not a food that makes you lose weight, despite the quantity that you eat. Basically, in theory, even if you just eat fruits and veggies in very, very large amounts, theoretically you can gain weight. It's very hard to do it, but at the end of the day, it all comes to the simple, like, equation: calories in and calories out, where if you eat more than what you burn, then uh, you're gonna gain weight. On the opposite, you're gonna lose weight. Now, how can you influence that equation? For example, by increasing your resting metabolic rate, which is something we can measure at the UFC Performance Institute, for example. It's very, very useful. It makes us understand how, if the engine is working, say. So if you're eating enough food, your engine will work properly. You will have a high resting metabolic rate. Those people that go through those uh, 3 months long, no carbs, very, very little calories weight cuts, they will probably have a lower resting metabolic rate. And it's, I mean, there will be a lot to say about that, but basically, um, our body is smart. We made it this far in our evolution because our body could adapt. And our body is very good at
Mhm.
basically keeping the energy for itself, storing fat. So if we deprive our body from nutrients, from calories for long enough, it will go into what we call the starvation mode, survival mode. You call it the way you prefer. To preserve itself, it will start. The resting metabolic rate will drop. You will feel, as a consequence, more lethargic, just because your body says, like, listen, you're not putting enough energy uh, here. We need to slow you down. Otherwise, basically, will get closer to die. you know this for a long time gave us an how do you say, evolutionary advantage. Now we live in a time of
Right.
opulence, and so it's not as useful like anymore, right? And if you don't have a solid um relationship with food, you don't have that education that helps you, or that guidance to make the right choices. It's very, very, very easy to gain weight, to develop some how do you say, um, pathologies, some disease. And yeah,
Yeah.
that's it. We talk about resting metabolic rate. There are, of course, other factors: the amount of calories that you burn while exercising, the amount of calories that you burn when you're not exercising, but you're still moving. That's what, I guess, it's pretty big in the average day of an Italian, Spanish person. So you can work on all those
Right.
variables, but in the end, there's going to be a number with a plus or a minus, or I mean, or a zero in your caloric balance, and that will determine basically what happens to the body. As I said,